Good morning, men and women of Christ. Back with you with part 2 of this spirit-led teaching. The insecurity of the flesh is the fruit of the unborn again spirit. The insecurity of the flesh is the fruit of the unborn again spirit, because insecurity in the flesh is the fruit of a satanic spirit. That's due to our fall from our eternal security, which is the image of Christ. Because the image of Christ is the image of God. That makes Christ God. And we were created as spiritual men and women in the image of Christ, so that he could come through his created image, which is us, his created image, to the soul and to the body by the fruit of the Spirit, which is the fruit of security. Which is the fruit of security. Galatians 6, 7, and 8 says, "For be not deceived that God is not mocked. They that sow to the flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but they that sow to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting." When you sow to the flesh, you're insecure and you're trying to find security in the things of the flesh. But when you sow to the Spirit, you're in the eternal security of the Spirit. You're in the eternal security of the Spirit because you're sowing to the things of the Spirit. Let's go to part 2 of this teaching, Romans 8, 5, 9. Romans 8, 5, 9. 5. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh. They're trying to find security in the things of the flesh. That's the fallen fruit of insecurity. For they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. We're in the eternal fruit of security. When you're spiritually minded, you're in the eternal mindset of security. For to be carnally minded is death. That's death. That's death causing you to try to find security in the things of the world. Money, material things, people, church, the things of the world that people attempt to find security in. Because the carnal mind is the enemy of God, is the enemy against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. 9. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please God. They that are in the flesh cannot please God because they're trying to find security in the things of the world, but they're not in God through Christ, where they're able to secure the things of the world. You see, it's not what you have, but the position from which you have it. So we see the difference between the natural mindset and the spiritual mindset. But it has to be taught from a place and position of the gospel, because only the light can teach the letter. Only the light can teach the letter. No one has any business giving you their opinion of the written word. Because your opinion does you no good, and it does no one any good of the written word, because whatsoever is not of faith is sin. Whatsoever is not of faith is sin. So, yeah, we have to be in the mind of the Spirit to be in the mind of security. And then we have the ability to overcome insecurity, because even though saved in spirit, and the soul redeemed in physical body brought back under the eternal security of the Spirit, we can still be insecure in the flesh by sight, but we overcome that insecurity by faith. See, faith is security. And when you see things in the flesh that's contrary to the faith of the Spirit, it can cause the flesh to be insecure. But because we're in the security of Christ, we outgrow the flesh by the eternal security of Christ. We outgrow the flesh, and to outgrow the flesh means to overcome the flesh, to take dominion over it, to bring that insecurity under the eternal government of security. And this brings us to a conclusion of part 2. Love you with the love of Christ. We have to deal with the deception of insecurity. It is something that has to be dealt with. And we certainly gonna deal with it. See you in part 3 of this teaching.